is sensory integration, and how does it affect your child's ability to function day to day? Well, sensory integration is a process where our body takes in sensory input from all around us. It's a process called registration. So right now, I'm registering the sound of my voice. I'm registering the feeling of my legs in the chair, and I'm registering what I see. I can see myself on the screen as I'm taking this video. So all that input is then sent to the brain, and the brain integrates the input from all the senses to help you to understand what's going on around you. So it's really important for us for safety and also for survival. So we need to know what's going on around us to know that we are safe where we are and that we're not going to be hurt in any way. And so you can imagine for a child that struggles to integrate sensory information correctly, that they might have a sense of anxiety, or you might see some difficulties with attention because they're not interpreting what's going on around them correctly. So they may just take more time to understand what's going on, or they may just not understand it. They might just be getting mixed messages. So it would be very difficult to listen to a teacher teaching a lesson if your body is sending you all these mixed messages. So that leads me to my next letter here on my visual. Sensory integration helps us to interpret what's going on around us. So, for example, I'm sitting here right now and I feel safe. My sensory system is telling me that I'm okay, that I'm sitting still, that I'm in a safe room, that I'm pretty safe, and I feel pretty calm. Now, if I were to start to smell smoke, that would be something that would make me get up right away and leave, because my sensory system knows if I smell smoke that is not something that's not a good thing and I need to leave right away. So that helps me. It would help me to interpret what's going on. A better example maybe for a child in the classroom, if they were, let's say, bumped on the shoulder by one of their peers. A child needs to be able to interpret that information along with the other input they're getting from other senses to know what that bump meant. So maybe it was just an accidental bump and that's all it was. Or maybe the child was being mean and was punching them in the arm. It's important to be able to integrate your information correctly so that you can interpret correctly what's happening. So that leads me to my last word here on my visual, interact. So we need to first be able to understand what's going on around us to then be able to initiate participating in whatever it is that's going on. So, for example, if your child was bumped in the classroom and they, realize it was just a light bump, and then they can see that the student is walking away, they can interpret that situation to be, oh, it was just an accident. And then they can interact. They can say to that other child, oh, I'm sorry, I must have been in your way. And so you can understand how kids that struggle with sensory integration, another thing that they might struggle with is social skills, because they may not be interpreting the situation correctly, so then they're struggling to then interact. And another thing that I often see that I work on a lot is a skill called motor planning, and that is a child's ability to move their bodies through a sequenced task. So, for example, climbing up the rock wall at the playground. You need to first be able to interpret what's going on and then interact by moving your arms and your legs in a coordinated way, using all your senses together to successfully get up that rock wall. So sensory integration is really a really important skill. I do want to say that every child is different, and it's important to understand your child's sensory differences and their specific needs. So that's part of where I come in. So if you're, if you would like to know more about your child specifically, feel free to reach out to me. But I hope this helped to give you a basic understanding of what sensory integration is and why it's so important to develop sensory integration skills.